He's gonna sort out some music for me for my videos, weren't he?
Yeah, I did. I got actually piled some already. I didn't get to finish it yet. I'll send to me grab it.
Yeah, I just see some upbeat ones, man, and a few like atmospheric, like a story, sad then happy.
Yeah, I got some stuff like that.
Yeah, man, send it, man.
What's going on, man?
I could put the credits on all the videos there and say Alstallio.
Yeah, I got to fade it out, man. It worked. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
Feeling good.
It's all good, man. We got any guests today? Anyone joining us? So unorganized, man.
Now the thing is, this one person that I completely forgot to answer. You sent me this message. He's the every week. I think his name's Michael or something, man. Michael Knight.
So unorganized, man.
So
Michael Knight. That's Knight Rider, man. Listen, you need to follow up with a guest, man.
I know, man. Wait. I gotta check. Wait, you sent me the message, man, and I wanted to answer this.
We can't tell him to come on now. It's like the man's probably having his dinner,
CJ,
romancing his wife.
RC Johnson, man, he was meant to come on, man, but I completely forgot, man. Oh, man.
Oh, wait. Listen, man. Listen. Guests should be arranged from weeks before. Well, I put on WhatsApp. It's YouTube.
It's terrible, man. Yeah, we're on YouTube. No, we're not on YouTube. We're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook today.
Yeah, you said you weren't on Facebook, so I put on Facebook today. Actually, I forgot.
But yeah, no, you've done it. That's all. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just coming on. All right, I'll tell you what. If we are on Facebook, let me have a look. We're on the Facebook page, yeah?
Yeah.
If you're on the Facebook page, then we need to do a proper introduction.
Oh, yeah, welcome to the Blackopolypse podcast. If you don't know us, I love your video today. When I saw it, it was like this. I've been watching it like 100 times.
I was trying to be atmospheric, man. Yeah, welcome, Blackopolypse Facebook followers. We're so glad to be here with you today. We know it's been a long time since we have shared our company with you. I think me and Wayne did a live back in summer. Yeah. And it's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming.
So
it's grown.
Yeah, we thought we'd do the podcast here today. We've been going on YouTube. We realized that most of our followers aren't on YouTube, they're actually on Facebook. So we thought it made sense for us to do the show today. So what we would really like, though, what would really kind of help us is if you guys have got any questions, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, it's almost like an AMA, ask me anything, I suppose, or ask us anything. We want to try and take Blackopolypse to a different level in 2021. Yeah. And we're going to need your support for that. So, the more that you talk to us about what's wrong in your world, if you're a person of color, if there's something wrong in your world, we need to hear about it so we can talk about it. Yeah, we ain't saying we can solve it, but most certainly, the more people that are aware of it, the more that the awareness is raised and people can do things about it. And it's not just about that. It's about, good news. We want to hear good news, man. And it's not just for people of color. It's people of all people, but we just want good news. Right now, we've had COVID, for 9 months of rubbish. Yeah. 9 months of rubbish, 9 months of like the worst dream you could ever have. And, let's end the year.
Actually saying that, actually before I carry on, now that you brought up COVID, one of the reasons why we've kind of moved it, we're going to probably try and move to Facebook before they shut us down as well. We got a letter this week and actually rejected my claim. They rejected my claim.
Oh, YouTube did?
Yeah, YouTube. And I'm a bit mad at YouTube about that because it's almost like, freedom of speech is out the window. They wrote me and said, "Hi, Blackopolypse podcast and media. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think that it violates our medical misinformation policy."
What part was it?
We were talking about the V. I'm not gonna say the words because I don't know. And they said basically that we was promoting and saying that it was a bad thing, but actually we didn't. And I said to them, I specifically said to them, the views of our hosts are their own views, and we don't advocate nobody taking the V.
Exactly.
But they said, no, rejected. Not that, it doesn't really matter anyway, because, it doesn't matter. and that podcast wasn't even about the V. That podcast was actually the one with about Jingle Jangle. But it's okay. The one that the thing is, they only took off the audio one at the moment. They don't realize that the one with visuals is still up. So I'm hoping that that was gonna slip under the radar. That's slipping under the radar. Yeah, you know me, I'm a hustler, man. They ain't me, you ain't catching me. I double up on everything, man. I don't take chances. I'm like NASA.
So what's been happening this week, man? Come, let's what's been happening. Have we got any topics for today, guys? We would normally have a guest, or at least 3 or 4 of us. COVID's mashed up it's just mashed up our runnings, man. We try and organize things and people can't make it because of COVID. Yeah, Andrew, you're right. YouTube does suck. You're right, brother. Absolutely right. They do suck. And that's the thing. We've relinquished our power. On one hand, we've said, yeah, free speech. But then on the other hand, we've got people who are actually still controlling the speech. But then, and this opens up a whole can of worms, really, because how free do we want speech to be? So would you, Wayne, advocate them banning anything to do with racism online? I
wouldn't advocate nothing. I really don't believe that they should ever stop people. If people got concerns, and actually around this V, if anyone is, V is the end of the COD V. I think everyone's allowed to have concerns. They've rushed this thing out, and I haven't met nobody. I've met one person who was like, and she was quite young, and she's just saying, yeah, I'm going to take it because she doesn't want to wear the mask anymore. And I was like, yeah, have you checked what's in there? Have you checked the time scale?
Oh, you're still going to have to wear a mask?
Even when you take the V?
But listen, let's not talk about the V, because the V is a story for another day.
Yeah, that's true.
Offline.
True. But anyway, like I said, the freedom of speech thing, I think there should be certain amount of government there. Extremists.
The thing is, though, where do you draw the line? Because if you say freedom of speech, do you then say you can't say that? Because
if I have a kid and you give the kid something and it was bad, but the powers that be, you think it's good, but it was bad for my kid, and I tell somebody, this was bad online, that was my experience, I don't think there should be any government on that. Now, when I'm going around saying all black people should kill all other races of people, that should be banned online. I think that shouldn't be allowed. You know what I mean? So I think when it's extremism, then that should be banned. Anyway, I don't give a damn. That should be banned. But there should be a certain level of allowance that says I can tell people about my bad experiences.
I suppose to a degree, it's we're human. We have this thing in our head called the brain, which is constantly battling for survival, and is constantly saying, well, how can I protect my host, the person who makes sure that I get nourished? So if you have a brain which is inquisitive, which questions things, what's that say about the world? If you can't question things, well, what's the point of being a human?
Yeah.
What's the point of having free will? What's the point of...
There is no free will.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think it opens up it does open up a can of worms. And not just for things like that, but I mean, other things have been taken off. I think it's like any point of view that ain't the point of view that's coming from
the powers that be.
The main point of view.
The professionals.
Then, well, whatever.
Who says, look,
it's automatically wrong. But isn't that extremism in itself?
Wow.
Who says, saying, well, you're wrong, we're right. If you don't agree with us, then we're going to censor.
That is extremism too. I think that's extreme. I think it's what the government's doing. It's like, it's kind of like mafia. We say what's right and we say what's wrong, and that's it. And they believe they've got the last word and everything. For example, what if you met somebody who started building cars from when they were little? They never went to school, never did any engineering, but they could build a car from the first piece of rubber to the engine to the manifold to the wheels. They can build that car. Does that make him not professional because he doesn't have the certificate to say he's a professional? When does life experience count? When is it life experience and not just some yeah, okay, I went to school and Harvard and I went through the necessary chains or protocols and that's why I can have the last say. No. No. I trust people coming from experienced backgrounds. People have done it, you know, and have got to where they are and experience. I trust these guys.
That's a thing is that connotation. There's so many ways that you could throw that. So you could have someone who isn't a doctor, but in their native village kept a lot of people alive by using the plants and medicine, you know, the herbs. Holistic. And they come to the UK, they're not going to be able to treat nobody. They're going to have to go medical school, do degrees.
Yeah, that's just the way we do it.
Even though where they come from, even though it's been passed down, they know that this plant will help your headache. This plant will help with pain, and that's the thing. It's a real, it's a mess, man. And when you got people like YouTubers saying, "Well, you're talking about things with our little audience," you know, we got millions of people watching.
I was gonna say, as I said, we had our hundreds of thousands. Like, yes, okay, but I'm like, even when
our little audience, you know,
when this video, this particular video makes it big.
These guys had 4 people watching it. We need to lock them down, man. Maybe we have more power than we realize. Maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe they're skewing the numbers, and really there's like 4 million views, but we don't want to show that because they know how you'll go on.
Hey, don't let me. I'm telling you now, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know, man, Apple, Twitter, don't let me get power, man, because this is the end of the. I'm gonna change this planet. Trust me, I'm gonna run for government. I'm gonna be the Prime Minister of England or Germany or Europe or whoever. I'm gonna change the face of this planet. I'm gonna make it so nice here. We're gonna be chilling, having a good time. Really, it's gonna be nice. Fun is gonna be the main objective. Everyone has to have fun. There is no such thing as, you know, being in the doldrums or being miserable and walking around not having. And no, man, it ain't gonna happen like that. Not on my watch.
Leave the children our future. You know. He's not there. Listen, I noticed you did actually have a couple of
topics
in the group. So I'll tell you what, let's go through some of these. Right, so on Saturday you put something in about Channel 4 News exposes swine flu scandal of 2010. What was that about?
That's actually a video, you know. Should I play the video?
No, can you not summarize? By the time you get your video on, mate, we've lost 10 minutes, man. I know you're like your when it comes to technology, man, you technology don't get on.
I would have did the rushed out of vaccine back then, innit, for swine flu.
Yeah, so exactly the same thing happening now, but on a far larger and more draconian scale. So basically, it was something to do with the swine flu scale. I do remember when they were sweating about the swine flu, bird flu, monkey flu. They had all kinds of flus going on, and they were scared of them. And the thing with flu, right? Flu mutates every year.
That's the thing. They can't make anything to stop the flu. I think the flu is one of these.
It mutates. It's a virus. It mutates.
You know what? Saying that, I actually heard that your body going into a temperature type status is actually to rid your body of all kinds of bacteria and virus that's invading your body. So.
Oh, when you go with like hot and stuff.
So all this, everyone worried about getting the temperature stuff. Actually, that's the right thing for your body to do. The things that your body's actually doing is the right thing for your body to do. You know, getting a cough is to get all the bad stuff out. You know what I mean? Having a runny nose is to get all the bad cells, and your body needs to drain. It's like a flushing system. You know, so your body. You know what happens when you get a flu? I'm no medical expert, by the way, but I just. No.
Everything comes from everywhere.
Yeah. When you get a flu, look, the first thing you do, you lose your appetite in it. The first thing you get sick. That's your body's way of telling you, look, don't put anything else into me. I'm going into rejection mode. I'm going to reject everything. You'll throw up sometimes. Some people throw up, some people don't. Then you'll go into a burning hot state over 40 degrees. And that stays the same for a couple of days. So your body gets rid and burns out all the diseases and foreign bodies that are in your body. So then and then after you'll realize you'll get your appetite slowly back and everything. And your body's like, yeah, I'm done. Everything's great. We're ready to go again. So it's just a natural way of curing things. So when you get, okay, this other virus thing that's going around, I don't know, but to me, so many people are recovering.
I did read up on it, and the reason it's devastating for some people is it creates that much of itself and you then create that much to fight it that you actually end up just getting filled with all these cells, which ain't going anywhere. But listen, man, let's change topic because we've been talking about this since bloody March, man. So, you see the story I put in the group about the hidden story of African Irish children?
You know, actually saying that, because I remember reading up a whole historical piece about the Jamaican Irish, and I think you actually put me onto that because I think your friend is it your friend who's Jamaican, but he's obviously white. And I read up that it was actually Jamaicans who taught the obviously sorry, it was the English, the Irish who taught the Jamaicans or the Africans in Jamaica, or the natives, because there was let's not forget there was black people there before anyone got there, like in America too, and they taught them English the way they speak. That's why they say tree. You know, they both say tree. Exactly the same. It's like, you know, they say the same language and stuff.
Well, the story of the African Irish, what happened was in the 60s, there were, I think it was about 11,000 African students went to Dublin and studied there.
In the 60s?
And I think you froze, man. Oh, yeah. And what happened was, obviously, you know, some of them lovely Irish ladies, oh, hello, young man, let's have a little talk. But what happened in Ireland is if you had a baby out of wedlock, you were in a mother and baby home. They take the baby, put it in, you know what I mean? They put them in these workhouses, these Catholic workhouses, because it was so wrong to have a baby outside of wedlock. Subsequently, these people never got married. So you had a lot of dual heritage children who theoretically they're black, because you know that the names they'll be called, they won't be called, oh, you're white. They'll be getting called, black, whatever, racism. And there's a lot of those people who went through. It wasn't known about. Have you ever wondered? Have you ever never wondered when you was growing up and you see like the odd Irish guy had a bit of colour to him? You think, hold on a second, there's not black people in Ireland. But it was because and some of the people have actually gone back and traced their brothers, their sisters, their family. You know, there's one guy. His father was a doctor from Nigeria, from South Africa. You know what I mean? A big time doctor. But it was really kind of powerful, and it shows that there's a world which the world ain't straight. You know, people think, yeah, man, I'm from here. People nationalists. Yeah, I'm English. I'm this. I'm that. I'm Irish. To be fair, you don't really know where you come from, because you know those people, those hidden children now who are now adults. As far as they was concerned, they was Irish, but they've now realised, or they're starting to realise, was that no, we're not actually Irish. My heritage is an African country or Nigeria. You know what I mean? So I mean, how difficult? A lot of them didn't have any identity. Did you watch Small Axe on Sunday?
What was it called? Small Axe.
Small Axe.
Small Axe. I didn't see it.
Steve, yeah, it was really good. Similar thing. Young black guy who was brought up in Surrey, so you can imagine how he talked. He was a little bit. You know, posh, and then he went to Brixton, and it was like, Lord God, fire on brimstone. Because obviously, he got there, it's like, yo, man, the ball, all this, and he's like, oh, well, you know, I'm from Surrey, and it showed you how he started to evolve and understand his kind of where his roots and that. Even though I think he found his family in the end, he's actually he was involved. He got arrested during the 1981 riots, but during the show, it showed something that happened in a place called New Cross in London, where this blues had been firebombed, and the blues, man. What, 13 people died, 13 young black people, and obviously, you know, back in them days, you know, the police were still, oh well, yeah, we'll investigate, but they never did. But it was a massive uproar, man.
Classic, man.
But really powerful, really powerful.
I'm gonna try and pull it up because I don't know. Small Axe. Was it a documentary? Or it was.
Nah, man, it's been on. It's part of the Black Lives Matter. Yeah, it's like a little short film by Steve McQueen.
Oh, okay,
it's good, man. There's I think there's been 4 on now. Yeah, you'll be able to watch it on Prime. Be able to watch it on Catch Up and all them things. So you put a topic in. What does a revolution look like, and are we close?
Yeah. I'm thinking, you know, with all this, obviously we're going back to where we wanted to go, where we didn't want to go, but. Like what I'm thinking, like I've been speaking to a lot of people, and everyone's like, obviously they're against this whole thing that's coming out, which has actually been released now in England. I guess people have already started getting getting
there was on TV this morning, man. This 90-year-old lady, she was the first one to get it.
Really?
I said to my mom, I said, how come they're giving this woman flu when every year they give her a jab to stop her getting flu?
Yeah.
And someone who did take it, one of the testers said, you do feel ill for a few days. Now,
of course.
Someone who's 25 feeling ill and someone who's 90 feeling ill, that's two different types of illness.
They're gonna take out a couple trust me.
So the thing to do is to kind of watch. This next 12 months is going to be crucial because, I don't want to be morbid, but it's definitely going to be good. In terms of revolution, so what are you saying about revolution?
So what I'm saying is, obviously, there's a lot of people who are like, I ain't taking nothing. There's a lot of people saying that, and I'm thinking at the moment, I think the latest numbers were like 30%, pretty much around the same amount in every country. 30% of people say they would take it, and 70 around the 70 mark are like, nah, we ain't taking that. So I'm thinking when they start putting in all the rubbish, if you don't go, if you don't take the dose, then you're gonna have to go. You can't go traveling, or you can't go out the house. So you have to wear a permanent mask, or you have to do. And I'm like, how long do you think that's gonna last? And then I'm thinking, okay, so it's gonna kick off. It's gonna kick off because people are getting sick of it now. People are already like, man, I can't take this anymore.
The thing is, you're right, but you're also wrong because there are people who are sick of this now. Who will, I've spoke to people who said, I'll take 4 injections, just get me back to normal.
And that's what I mean. But I don't think that's that many people. I think that's a minority.
Well, I've spoken to a fair few.
Really,
but I think anyone who works in frontline healthcare. They ain't gonna have they're not gonna be able to say, hey, well, they'll have to take it.
But didn't they come up that they're not actually priority anymore? It was said that they were priority.
Well, they brought out a list today, and the way it started was
anyone who's 90 and above.
Or 100 to 80, care home staff, frontline. I mean, it went down like 65.
Yeah, the thing is, I
don't think it even got to 55. And that's the thing, you see, and this is where I don't think you need to be concerned because if you think about it, it's going to take them, 2-3 years to get this vaccine around the whole population of one country, the UK. If we're talking about, you've got to have a vaccine before you can travel anywhere else, that means the whole world has to be vaccinated. So that's 8 billion vaccines. 8 billion, mate, that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. Someone's got to pay for that. Some countries were like, no, we're going to use our own vaccine. Then there'll be side effects. Well, which one caused it? Was it yours from the UK or yours from Germany? You know what I mean? So can they bring in something? The thing is, mate, the card that works in Britain, in Germany, they might be like, that doesn't mean anything over here. Which one did you take? It's not the same as, you know what I mean? So how can you do it? You can't. It doesn't, unless it's all the same thing by every single company. How can you then say, well, you've had the vaccine, but your vaccine was better than my vaccine, so you can't?
Isn't it like the WHO who are deciding which one's the official one? So if you try and go to Timbuktu,
but even you saying the official one, if you think about it, you know how many different, paracetamol, which you can pay like £3 for, but you can also pay 20 pence. How many different types of paracetamol are there? This vaccine that they're making, how long before a company in India, China, whatever, copy it and then try and sell it for cheaper?
Saying that,
and
actually,
that's the thing. They're creating another market, isn't it? It's like a cancer drug, it's like an AIDS drug, it's like a...
Actually, have a side note. Viagra lost, I think it was a couple of years ago, Viagra lost its patent, not lost its patent, but its patent ran out. And that's why you also all these cheap alternatives coming up, which are just as good in the market. At first, it was like Viagra, and then there was all these other variations, and that's why...
Well, Viagra's the brand name. It's like BMW and then Kia. Kia do cars which are just as more reliable than BMW. BMW. Whoa. The reality is, I don't really want to talk about this for too much longer, but these guys don't care, man. It's all about the balance sheet, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
That's what I mean? So, and I think this is what kind of saddens me about society, in that it's that those guys at the top, they care about little old me. If I'm ill, they'll come round and cook me dinner and they'll look at me. No, they won't. Don't delude yourself that they're making decisions based on you. They don't care. They don't know who you are. You're a national insurance number, which, to be fair, when you're dead, they'll pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering how much this has got to do with, like for example, conspiracy theories that it's population control. I'm actually wondering how much this is to do with population
you know,
control.
something like I say, the thing to do is to watch what happens over the next 12 months with the vaccinations. The side effects is the one to watch because some of these companies have been involved in some big settlements in the past.
Some shady business.
And follow the money, you know, find out who in government has got a vested interest in these companies. Same as with the PPE. But hey, let's not get political. Right.
So, wait, I didn't finish the revolution thing, man.
Oh, I thought you'd finished. I mean, you never even talked about the revolution. You got back onto the
I'll tell you
again.
how it looks like. I think we're actually at the beginning of a revolution now. I think there's been a lot of mini kind of revolutions happening. Even this Black Lives Matter movement is a revolution of somewhat. You know, if you look how things have happened, you know, you got football players and everyone sitting down. Colin Kaepernick is now praised as, for example, for a couple of years, everyone was looking at him like, yeah, what's this guy doing? But now everyone's doing what he did. So if you think about it, a little revolution is kind of taking place. All the advertising, all the adverts are now containing one.
Oh, there's been a mindset shift. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think a revolution takes different forms, isn't it?
Yeah, when he said revolution, I thought he was on about like cars burning in the road. And
no, that's coming. That's coming. But that's coming. That'll be like the end game. That'll be like the last. Oh, my camera. That'll be like the last. Oh man, look at this. I'm driving myself, guys. Sorry, I apologize. That'll be like the last.
Andrew said that the hidden underbelly could tell you.
You can tell. Where are you seeing his comments, man?
Facebook. I think on Facebook, brother.
Yeah, I know the hidden underbelly could easily. Yeah, hidden underbelly. Shout out to Andrew, man. Andrew's a gangster. But at the moment, I don't have any more comments up, man. I can't see anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he supports the whole idea that the revolution won't be televised, which I believe. I think there's a revolution going on right now, but I think it's not being shown. And I think once it really kicks off, and it will kick off, and it'll go around the internet, you know, and we'll all end up at like wherever, Downing Street or the White House or wherever you want to be. And that's when it'll be the end game. And then you'll see like soldiers shooting their own people, or because that's the thing. I'm like, would that really happen? Would you as a soldier shoot on your own people? And the thing is, there's nothing that will make me do that, you know. But I'm guessing there's nutters out there who are like, I just want to kill people. I know for a fact there's people out there that are just like, I just want to kill people.
Now the thing is, you got to understand that
it's a job. It's a job.
Not even that. It's an indoctrination, isn't it? It's your country, and it's really funny that your country needs you, but it needs you, and like what you say, it needs you to do something to your own people, but your people are your country. So it's, you know, I remember when early days of lockdown, you're saying, oh, the soldiers are going to be on the streets, and people were worried, like, oh, the soldiers are going to say, yeah, man, get back in your backside yard, get back in your house, and you know what I mean? It's like,
would they do that though?
Look, right.
On the orders,
we live in Great Britain, where democracy rules.
Yeah.
And, you know, those kind of uncivilized behaviors that you see in some of those state-run African dictatorships will never happen in this country. I'm telling you that now. Don't know, mate. One of those. Well, would they cross the line? You know, how much more would they have taken of people flouting the COVID rules and doing everything else without them then saying, lock it down? The thing is, if a revolution was coming, mate, I think it'd have come and gone. People are flouting rules. So, for example, I think on Sunday, the police had to cut into a football club because there was a party going on there. And when at first, when the police turned up, they turned off all the lights and the music, and then they got an angle grinder out. And as soon as they started grinding through the padlocks, they put the music on, and the lights are going, yeah, chanting. Really? So, pure fines, £1,700 fines, £1,000 fine.
What?
I think people are at a kind of a breaking point, but it's how far will people go? And the thing is, it ain't a collective response. This is going to be pure emotion by individuals. You know, if we're talking about, right, this political party is saying, right, this is and people got behind the cause, but it won't be like that.
I think it'd be like that. I think it'd be like that. I think I think now is the time. Remember, you don't need everybody. You just need a certain section of people. And I think you've got those already. And that's the crazy generation, millennium, whatever you call them, the generation X, Y, Z. What do you call these new guys? The youth. They're the crazy guys, man. They're the ones who don't take nothing. They're the ones who start this Black Lives Matter stuff, man. They're plentiful, man. They don't need us. We can sit at the house and watch.
But the thing is,
I was one of those guys back in the day. I was on the
listen, man.
streets.
The thing is, right? Words are cheap. Words don't stop a police baton or CS spray or bullets or guns.
I think these guys are willing to take it, man. I got a feeling these guys are willing to take it. You don't think?
You're living in fantasy land, mate. You do realize they call this generation snowflakes.
Really?
You know what I mean?
just hide by Twitter. Hide by Twitter.
Mate, listen, right? Revolution, mate. Some of these guys can't even cook bacon, so no, it won't come from them.
The revolution's gonna happen.
I do kind of worry we're stumbling into something. I don't know what. I don't want to sit here and conspire and say, oh, it's this and oh, it's I suppose on the kind of fantasy level. Like, oh my god, what could be the end game? But the end game is never a positive end game. There's nothing that you can think of based around this that ends positively. So
there ain't gonna be there's no positive.
And that's the thing. There's no positives that come. You can't write a story about. It's like that film that was on TV with Matt Damon, Contagion, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That was end. And it stopped. It stopped that. There's no like, oh yes, we've killed the world. Everyone's back. No, it stopped halfway through. The world was still mashed up.
Yeah.
That was 3 years later.
That's it. We're heading into Mad Max territory now, man.
Yeah, oh God knows, God knows.
And then can we do a topic change? Wait,
we got your topic now.
I gotta get two things off my chest quickly.
Oh no, not two. Oh,
two things. Upcoming rant. Adolf Hitler wins the election in Namibia. Politician named after Nazi leader sweeps the victory, but promises I'm not striving for world domination. Now I'm thinking, what kind of dumb? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. See, this wouldn't come from a Jamaican or a European black person or an American black person. This would only come from someone on the continent, the African continent. How can you glorify a mass murdering dictator? Huh?
You can't say that. It could only come from there.
Dude, trust me, I've met guys in these countries who do. You're foolish if you name your kid Adolf Hitler. How can you even worship a guy who would have killed you faster than anything? You know what I mean? How can someone be like, I'm going to name you Adolf Hitler? I like that name. I'm going to name my son Adolf Hitler. Yes, Adolf Hitler was a great man. This guy's old, I guess.
Well, there's a child, a British couple named Baby after Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, these guys are crazy.
12th of November 2018.
Wasn't that abuse? That was abuse. I think that's to change the name in the end or something. Something happened to them. They weren't allowed to do it in the end. They were like, nope, we're not accepting that.
I think, you know,
I'm getting a cold, man. I might be getting COVID after all, man. Jesus Christ.
Don't pass it down the airwaves. Listen, I think I am kind of speechless. I think
you're speechless. Yeah.
It's like, I suppose it's like you did a what's the worst name I could call my son, so he hates me when he's old. Obviously, his son doesn't hate him. But then you've got to think to yourself, these people voted the guy in with that name as well.
Which is even worse.
Well, no. Because the thing is, if you're going to judge a man by his name, well, you can't then say, well, we're being, the English press are being racist by saying that, oh, that guy's Muhammad, so he's going to be. You're right. You know what I mean? You can't judge a man by his name. How would you? If my name was Adolf Hitler? But dad was like, yeah, man, I'm going to spite everybody. Adolf Hitler.
I'd be like, what the? I'll probably have to shoot you still.
Well, I'd have to live with that.
I'd have to shoot you. Just in case.
He could be the nicest guy in the world. Probably take you mom shopping, bring flowers to your nan, cook your bloody cakes and stuff. Yeah, man, come around, man. Yes, Adolf, no problem. Just that, unfortunately, his dad must have been playing a joke on his mom. So, yeah, man, we're going to call this boy Adolf Hitler. And my man's back in power. that's a scary thing. When you see a headline like that, you're like, rah, so I'm back in the 40s.
The thing is, I haven't seen a picture of him. I haven't seen a picture of him. I haven't seen a picture, so I don't even know what it looks like. If he looks...
Oh, the man's pretty, man. The man's pretty in the ass. He looks like a younger Idi Amin.
Can you share it? What? Can you share it?
It's on my computer, man.
You can share
Seriously.
it?
No, I'm using my phone for
Oh, you should. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looks like a younger Idi Amin.
Let me see if I can do this. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do it. I messed up last time.
Yeah, you can't. You technology throws you, mate. Don't bother. Right.
Was the second thing?
Your other rant.
Oh, black people.
Oh, okay.
When I was younger, and I wasn't, when I was younger, I had an idea, and I was like, and this is what I mean by community. Black people have, maybe not so much now, but I know we have a bit more kids than, say, European counterparts. How come we don't have? And I remember someone telling a story that they were laughing at. This way the Africans, I give the Africans respect. They will come to Europe, make money, and send it back to Africa and make sure their family's sorted. That's what I like about African people. Not saying I don't like anything. Some things I don't like. Some things I think they're a bit woozy, but a lot of things I do like about them.
Woozy,
Yeah. And that's the thing that we miss in our community here as Jamaicans or Black Europeans. We try and fly the nest and get out the way as fast as possible. Now, I had an idea with my family. I don't think so. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish my point.
Go on.
So when I was when I was growing up, I got like 5 or 6 siblings, and I was like, why don't we all live in one house? We all put the money into the pot, buy this one house, and then we all just live for a couple more years, buy another house, and then shit. If we would have done that when I said it when I was 16 years old, that's like 22 years ago now. So I'm aging myself. Man, how cushy would live now. We'd have probably like 10, 15 houses. We'd have a like a proper business running. We could have rented 6 of the houses out. We'd have just income. Why don't black people do that?
The thing is, though, what you're talking about is what the Asian community did very well.
Yeah.
And it meant that the economy, the money, which was generated by the whole, was used to fulfill the need of the people who needed to be pushed up the ladder. So, for example, university, they sent their kids to university, didn't think twice about it because every bit of money that come in was used to send. But when that child then qualified, he's back home making his money. His money then gets used to bring his sister and push her through. When they're both qualified, dad's still running his business. Son's on 50 grand, daughter's on 40 grand, £130,000 net coming in. Or we can put down 70 grand a month. That's why they buy. I say or, but some Asian guys who I know, they buy everything cash. They want a car, they buy it cash. They don't believe in credit. Yeah. So I think we used to do that. So some of the early generations who came here, when they worked, they'd send money back to Jamaica. Some of the early generations that came here, think of the Polish coming to England. Well, these were black men coming to England, and then they send for their wives and their kids afterwards. Our dad didn't get here till he was 17.
No.
Dad had been left in Jamaica with family to run wild. So when he come to England, he was wild. He was like, Lord God, God.
Oh my.
Man said to him on the night he came, you got to be in by 10. He moved out that night. He didn't want to be in by 10. You know what I mean? The reason that we don't maybe do it, and I think there's a degree of father figure involved there, is you've got to have a strong look. If your mom and dad are saying, right, from an early age, right, when you go university, you get married, you come back here, you know the rules from when you're growing up. I ain't going anywhere for now, and you're not going to be living like in servitude. You're going to be having a good time. So it's almost like, I'm not needing to move out yet. I mean, because the thing is, they would rather you move out the house with a deposit to buy another house rather than go and rent.
Yeah.
So that mentality, you're absolutely spot on, mate. I think the reason why we don't do it, well, you can say a lot of absent dads, the foresight, the kind of forward thinking of, oh wow, if we did this, then blah, 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 blah. There's lots of factors. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, slavery and this, that, and the other. But I suppose there's degrees of that involved. But we've had enough time to figure that out. But then if you look at society now, most certainly, I'd say the UK, I'd say that's becoming less and less. I think it's becoming less and less around the world. I think this singleism, whereas before it was all about family when I was growing up, but singleism now is the new kind of way. You've got to get your own place, live on your own.
And that's it. It's almost like that's lost with some, like even our parents' generation. They were like quick to get us, get out of my house, man. And I was mine
wasn't.
Well, maybe not yours, but let's say the generation after us, they're probably like me. I would tell my kids now, look, I'm gonna try and draw that into my kids. Look, if you all stick together, you all stay here for a little bit longer. You all bring in your wage, put it in a pot, buy one house, buy 3 houses before any of you move out. you know what I mean?
People get. It's greed, isn't it? It's like I watched something today on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Like, this guy was saying, I'd rather have $5,000 in a plastic bag than a £5,000 bag with $100 in it. And therein lies some of the problem with the community, because we're all about style and pattern. And how much 150 man, I'll buy that because I've got them on my feet. People will think that I'm somehow great. And when that's one of them. When did we get to that stage? When did we get to that stage that we won't eat, but we'll make sure we spend £80 on the jumper?
I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think it was when you said the dads left the family. Because if you see one thing in common is a lot of dads left the black family. I'm hoping that's changing now. A lot. I would have said a lot. There's a high percentage. Let's say 70%. Yeah. I think last time the statistics was 70%. Maybe that was America. I don't know. So 70%. So if you didn't have I remember the dad is normally the breadwinner. Is that right? The breadwinner. So if he's not coming in or he's not giving his, because the moms tend to be more like, oh, I love my kids, but they don't have that mindset to chase things. You know what I mean? To chase.
Well, for them, they're no, and it's wrong to say, but I suppose there was a certain period in time where a mom's role, unfortunately, because of the sexist world, was look after the kids.
Yeah.
But that changed in our time, because if you think about it, in the 60s, dad would go out to work, mom would stay at home. And then there was this transition where both of them had to go out to work because the bills kept going up and up. I think in the case of someone like our own father, he was just a rolling stone, and I think by the time he realised, it was too late, because those relationships that he should have fostered with young people who were impressionable, he'd missed that chance. So, you know something, I think he lived a lot of his years before dementia with a bit of regret. I think he would have had moments where he'd be like, why? I mean, he said to me a few times, why? I've been a naughty boy. It's not about being naughty, Dad.
See, they're like this.
You know,
I've been a naughty boy.
No, this was before he'd gone, man. But you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right in what you say. But then,
is it important for us to advocate that kind of life back into the black community? Because I think that's something like obviously, like I said, the moms don't get the education. Now. You don't get the education in school. So it's important to have somebody there who's like, look, this is how you should do it. You should be learning to create wealth. Don't let your kids leave the house until they're 30, until they've got, like you said, a deposit for a house. And that's stupid because big people can't live together. But if you can, that
sounds like lockdown to me.
I mean, you got freedoms, but the thing is, it makes sense.
And that's the thing, you see. You've got to remember that there's two reasons why people will do something, either or don't do something, either because they're scared or because they really want to. Now, I'm not saying that that's how some families live, but some people wouldn't have had a choice about whether they could come and go. It'd be a case of you staying your ass here. Whereas others would be like, yeah, man, thank God you're going. You're yamming out my fridge. So you couldn't force that. Yes, that's a great mentality. But then if you think of some of the 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds that you know, and think about it, these people we're talking about, they came here at those ages and they went into jobs and they lived in houses with 10 other people. And they shared a bathroom and they got their first business. And then every weekend, someone would be calling them this and that, or writing paint or smashing windows. You know what I mean? Are our young people coming through now, do they have that resilience? Do you think they have that resilience?
I think
to go it alone with a partner from 16, whatever, and they're going to make a go for it. Mate, life's too varied for them now. There's too much for them now. Back then, there was no internet or push button, this or that. None of the sights, none of the tastes and the fruits of the world. Right now, the fruits of the world are all around them. So this free spirit, this free mind, it doesn't have to focus on anything other than what that person wants at that moment in time. Selfish. We've become a selfish society. That's what it is.
I don't know. I still feel like if you sacrifice 10 years of your life to your family, and then
sacrifice, geez, these kids won't even sacrifice bloody coming in on time. It's like, man.
But the thing is, if honestly, you can, okay, I do understand this is adolescence area, but period in your life. But if you can sacrifice 10 years, so let's say from the top, from 18 to 30, I know that's 12 years. if you can sacrifice that, because after like I always say, you shouldn't be having kids, shouldn't have kids, shouldn't be trying to settle down until you at least till after 30. Forget all of that stuff's rubbish, man. Don't do that till you're 30, man. 30, then you got enough experience.
And no. Yes and no. I obviously I had my kids young. Would I if I had my time again, I'd have them at exactly the same age.
Nah, man. Look, I'm a guy who's had his kids quite old after 30, and I would say I should have waited till I was 40, because there's things now in 30.
Don't get me wrong. I'd go through the same trajectory. I wouldn't change anything.
But the thing is with you, you're now free, so you feel like I'm free now. I wouldn't mind being a lot more free when I was younger and living like me. I would say, have my kids at 70. I've got about 5 years to live, and then I'll die, and I'm good.
That's so. Like I said, society's selfish, man.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk. Right. Okay. Oh, Olivia said Wayne is advocating me moving back in with you. 6 more years of this face every morning.
Oh my God. and she goes there and send some money. But the thing is,
Mom would have you back in a shot. Be like, come baby girl, come on.
You know, the thing is, she says send some money to me then, and I'm like, yeah. The thing is, I could send money to you, but in this constellation, it wouldn't work. We'd all have to live in the same house, because you'd have to get like, look, for example, if you got 7, let's say you got 6 working people making £2,000 a month. That's six. That's just £12,000, man, a month going into the house a month. You can get what can you rent for 12,000? What can you rent for £2,000 a month?
That's £144,000 a year.
Yeah. What can you rent? What can you rent for £2,000 a month? In, say, for example, Handsworth Wood or something. You'd easily get a nice place. You get a nice place for £2,000 a month in Birmingham. You get pimped, maybe like a mini villa.
Then there's one thing you're forgetting amongst all of this, and that's the other people.
Yeah, well, that's what you have. You each wing. You each have a wing in the house. You're at the castle, damn it.
I know
a castle.
People who ain't living with their family because like they got things put on this, that, and the other. So the thing is, mate, in principle, it's a fantastic idea, and I think if that was something which was taught, but then it's the whole the family, the mom and dad have got to buy into it. They've got to buy into the fact that hey, we're doing this for the bigger picture. The kids have got to understand that, hey, you know, the bigger picture is your siblings. So when you go off and do your thing, you got to come back. You got to make sure that they come through as well. And people are selfish, man.
I think that's a better model. What I'm talking about, that's a better model than getting an education.
Yeah, but the problem,
because look, let's say 144.
No.
Look, 144 grand a year.
You've just spoken about £2,000 a month. If you ain't got an education, you ain't getting £2,000 a month. You're getting minimum wage.
I make more than 2,000. I made more than 2,000 a month, and I've got no education.
Yes, you have.
No, I don't have an education like a diploma and stuff like this. You know
I ain't got no diploma.
So that, and I guess that would be considered today. That's considered an education. If you don't have a diploma or degree, you're not educated, man. Yeah, even A levels. A levels is like the least you're supposed to expect.
I'll live. I won't get upset about that.
You're fine. So look. So let's say, okay, I don't know what the standard is in England at the moment, but let's say, like, I'm talking from what I would make, what I make at the moment. I think over 10 years. Look, you said it's 144,000 a year. You could buy a house every year. Every year you can buy one house. Hey, and you got 10 houses. Then you can rent. You got 6 siblings, so everyone gets a house. And you got 4 houses bringing in rent. And if you buy nice houses, each rent £500-600 a month.
I agree with you.
You good?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
That's an enterprise.
There's one factor that you're not including in that, and that's people. If you're talking about robots and like, you know what I mean? You're talking about people. People get paid, and they're like, "Well, I got to pay your board. How much? That's too much." Kids would rather move out of their house and pay £20 a week board. They'd rather move out and get their own place than be broke.
And that's right.
£20 a week board. We're selfish.
I think that's selfish society. I think that's the mentality you have to kind of drill into them. And I think I'm going to go with that experiment with my kids. I'm going to try and
I want to see how you turn out. I want to see how you listen. When you guys, because obviously don't forget now, you've had your kids older, which means that by the time they're working, you're going to be older. Which means that you've only got a finite amount of working years left in you, unless you get.
I got 30 years, man. I got 30 good years left, man.
So Man, you're gonna have to get them into work hard and fast and yeah.
In theory, I got 30 years. In reality, I've
You need
got
more
2
kids.
left.
You need to have more kids.
No more kids. No. Okay, so this is it in summary. Have every girl, every black female should have 6 to 8 kids. All these kids, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 who don't make it, because you know black people, you don't always make it, need to be working, making around £2,000 a month. That'll accumulate to what, 12,000 a year, a month.
Oh,
everybody,
Lord. Honestly, man,
at the year's 144,000.
If
I used to have a house every 2 years, a big house.
I wish life was so simple, man. Honestly, man. I tell you what, Wayne, you should be running the world.
And that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Life is simple when you explain it. It's like, it's so simple, man. Everyone just do this thing.
It's like you said, greed.
Forget. It is. It's selfishness.
That's what happened. The greed got over, and people wanted to own more stuff.
The thing is, people want to have material stuff. They want to have.
And no one knows their limits. And no one knows their limits. No one knows that once you've made, I think it's once you make £70,000 a year, your life doesn't really change. Once you're making 70,000 a year, your life doesn't change too much. Yeah, okay, we're not comparing it to Bill Gates.
But Olivia said 6 to 8 kids and just laughed hard. Isn't it? That's what you're talking about. What is your uncle talking about, Olivia?
6 to 8 kids. 6.
He's mad. I know that I think that's what he's saying to Julia. He wants to have another 3 kids.
No. I don't need. I'm talking about black women.
Cousins.
I'm talking about black.
Why should black women have 6 to 8 kids?
Because they're the ones who need to come up. We need to come up.
Oh, shut up, man. Quiet, man.
Listen, white people are good where they are. They can have their 1 kid a family. That's good. They've balanced it out. They made it all nice for themselves. Black people need to have more kids.
Nah.
Okay,
what do the thing is, though,
do?
What you got to remember is I wasn't even talking about white families. I was talking about Asian families. So,
what about Pakistanis and China, Indian families? How many kids do they have? Normally, at least 5. Muslim families have like 5 to 6.
The thing is, though, if you remember that's what I said. I said that the Asian families, that's what they did. That's why their kids went to. They're able to get their kids through uni and support
that's what I
each
said.
other.
We need to follow their method. As I said, 6 to 8 kids.
That genie. But I'm not talking about 6 to 8 kids. You could be talking about 2 or 3 kids. If you've got 2 or 3 kids and they're all doing 20 grand a year, and you've got a business doing 50 grand or whatever profit a year, that's still £110,000.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean. So it's not about having 6 to 8 kids. It's about what they do with the money. It's about whether they want to support that bigger cause. It's not about you must do this. It's about whether they want to be involved in that. Because don't get me wrong. These children, these kids, these young adults, they have their own dreams. They have their own things that they want.
Sell them the dream now. The thing is,
you can try, man. Olivia, he is mad. She said you're mad. He is mad, and he's mad as a box.
I don't think I'm mad. I think if you sell them the dream, and let them know that it's going to be easy in 10 years. It's only a small prison sentence, because that's what it is.
The language you're using.
It's a prison sentence. Yeah, live with your parents in a prison sentence.
Like
I good parents.
How old was you when you moved out of yours?
I was thrown out, man. If I remember correctly, I was thrown out. Okay. And that's what. And then I rest my case.
We got 4.5 minutes left, so we might as well give your guy a bit of airtime.
Who?
Right. So on Saturday or Sunday, the Millwall fans.
Oh, this geezer! I wanted to this fool. I'm gonna log in with my phone and I'm gonna play this off, man. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna go over it.
We ain't got time, man. I don't want to hear that. We don't need to hear that live. At the end of the day, it's like I said to you, we nothing. The narrative hasn't changed. You know, I think watching the video, what happens, and you do the same thing. Generalization.
Yeah.
Because
but he's worse. He's worse.
No. It's not generalization. So he's read something online about BLM, and because it's online, that means that everything to do with BLM is the same. Even though BLM isn't, yes, it's an organization, but it's a movement. It's a state of mind.
Yeah.
And Neanderthal can't separate that. It's like someone saying, if you vote Labour, you can't be racist because Labour is for the black person. Which part of Labour is for black people? Which part of Labour comes to a black man's house and gives him money every day? So, yeah, man, let me look after your kids while you go to work. No. It's like saying, oh, all conservatives are racist. Are they? I know plenty of black people who vote conservative. I wouldn't call them racist. You know, this guy's a generalization guy. This guy is like the Sun newspaper. This guy is like the Mirror newspaper. He's fastened on the little bits that you can read and go, oh yeah, and you know, those Millwall fans who booed, you know, Millwall's always been racist, mate. It's always been a race. No, but seriously, growing up, it's always had racist problems at that football club. So it's almost like if it was going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen there anyway. I think the shame is that BLM isn't BLM. If that makes sense. You've got a company called Black Lives Matter, fantastic, whatever. Yeah. They do not represent Black Lives Matter as a thought and as a movement. You know, I'm not sitting here saying defund the police, but this guy said, "Oh, I want to defund the police," but I don't believe that we should defund the police. This guy say, "Oh, they want to bring communism back." I don't believe in bringing communism back. Me neither. But do I believe that socialism, Black Lives Matter? Yes. But do I believe Black Lives Matter? Yes, I do. So them kind of people there, it's almost like...
And that's why I wanted to take his argument apart, man. I wanted to pause it, go through each bit and say...
Nah, but you don't need to. And that's the thing, because
I'm going to take this guy out.
You can do a separate podcast and go through.
I'm going to do one.
What you're doing, though, by doing that, is that you're giving him more space. Why would you waste your time showing someone that this guy's a racist Neanderthal? You know, he's not going to hear your, oh, bloody hell, Wayne was right. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take back what I said. Is he hell? You know what I mean? Like I said, he's taking these little snippets. I can read this word. He says, commutist, you know what I mean? And he's come on and he's done that. You know, it's a shame because it brings attention to a football club. Yeah. And I say club, and because of the people who say they're fans, you know, has it been forced down their throats? You know something? I've been black for 46 years. I've probably had racism directed at me without realising for 46 years. No. You know, one summer of love ain't going to hurt anybody. We had summer of love back in the 90s, man, and everyone came together. So we can do it again, man. It's a summer of love. Brave times.
I don't know, man. I think people like that should be discredited, man, completely.
I can discredit someone who's already got no credit. Who? The thing is,
he's got among his people. I'm like that guy. Who's that?
How can you discredit someone who has no credit to begin with? Who is he?
Isn't he behind British First? Isn't that his company?
What I'm saying is, what credibility does he have? He has a couple of guys who go, yeah, you guys right, you know. These guys probably don't even read books. You know what I mean? They get their information from a man, which to me, that's another religion. But this guy doesn't know anything, because everything he says was rubbish. But that's his narrative. He's read a little bit on a website and go, oh yeah, that's what it all stands for. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't stand for that.
I believe in the work of Daryl Davis, the guy who dismantled the KKK. A couple of the I don't know how many disbanded, but he became friends with the guy and took the guy out. I'm like this guy. I'm like, wait there, let me go talk to this guy. Let me talk to his fans too. Let me give our perspective, and maybe some of them will come around. If I did manage to convince one person, which seems like my mission, to convince one person that actually it's stupid to be racist, then maybe...
The thing is, right, people are racist for all kinds of reasons. They get racist because of fear. You got to remember, right, a lot of what people put out is what they take in. So if you think of what people take in, they take in media, they take in social, they take in their peer group. So, you know, if you've got these, and I suppose South Africa is the best example, if you've got these negative images all the time, you are going to then, if someone says something which then matches what you've been looking at, oh my God, that's right. You know, look at how they castigated the whole of Islam for the reactions of 7 guys. Yes, and again, you know, you have to say this: these guys are from Saudi Arabia, but America still is happy to take Saudi Arabia's money in weapons, and Britain's exactly the same. But I tell you what, let's go and make sure all the other Muslim countries get a hard time because they ain't got no oil. So It's well, and that's it, mate. There's always got to be an enemy.
Oil man.
The biggest problem that the leaders of the world would have is if we all actually got on. If we all said, you know something, I like all you people. I don't care what colour you are, because that means they couldn't divide us, which means they couldn't tell us any fart about each other, which means that rather than us being like that and splitting, we'd actually be like that and tight. Yeah. And that's the only way. But and this is why I can't remember what you said something. Oh, what was it you said a couple of weeks ago about? Yeah, they're all going to, you know, about the conspiracy thing. And I said, mate, you can't get 100 people in the room to agree on the same stuff. All these world leaders with all their egos and that getting in the way. Well, I've got to be in charge. Well, we've got to be in charge. You know, even down to this drug. Oh, Britain, we brought out the drug first. It's like, wow, Great Britain. It's like, wow, are we still playing that playground thing where, you know, it's like, my country's better than your country. It's like, you know, how do the people live in your country? Do they live well, or do they live below the poverty line? Or is it that your country's better because the exports and the imports you're making enough money? But do the people live well? Does everyone eat? Do you have no homeless? Does everyone have a house? Do all kids have an education? Oh, so you don't have one of them things. Why are you calling your country great then? You know what I mean? So it's rhetoric, isn't it? It's playground stuff. And playground stuff, unfortunately, is played out on every level. And that's why society will never, ever get better. Because at the top, that's how they play the game. So we just watch it and say, oh, if he can do it, so can I. Look at Rita Ora. She's had a party in London. She's been and done a concert in Turkey. Completely didn't care about COVID and lockdown and everything else. Has money, no care. But all the serfs who aren't celebs have to abide by the rules. That's what I'm saying. Selfish world, man.
So what did we learn today, man? What did we learn today?
Well, we learned a whole lot of things.
Black women should have 6 kids.
We know that Olivia doesn't want 6 to 8 kids.
Yeah.
We know that Olivia's happy to move back home with mum.
Yeah.
So mum can see her face. Andrew went, ooh. What he said about ooh. These all the comments don't come up, man. It's like,
I saw them coming up live for a minute, and then I clicked off the page.
They don't all appear. I think after the show's done, they'll all appear, man. In fact, let me just do one thing. Oh, I'll tell you what. Oh, I've got them now. I've got them.
You got it?
I think so. I was waiting for it to load.
Let me see.
Listen, Facebook people, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We hope to make this a more regular event. In fact, what we're going to do next week, we're going to actually advertise it. Wayne,
we're going to advertise it.
Well, no. We're going to put it on as an event so that people
actually. I'm going to do that now.
Yeah, put it on as an event at the time. So you guys, you know, we'd like you guys to join us as much as you can. The main thing for us is we need your input, man. We need you. We need to know what you want to know about when.
Yeah, and if we get 100,000 people, I'm going to play piano live, and Nigel's going to sing.
I'm not going to hurt you. Olivia will be on at 8 o'clock next week. Is that right? 8 o'clock?
Yeah. 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll be on at 8 o'clock next week. It'd be lovely if you can join us. Come and join us live if you want, and you can jump into the studio.
No, we don't want to live. No. She's going to cut us up, man.
Nah, man, Livia's funny, man. She'll have us in stitches, man, and she's so intelligent. She'll bring a nice.
I don't know, man.
No, man, she'll bring a fresh argument to the table.
I'm gonna have to put a test to it. I'm gonna put it on the Thursday podcast.
Olivia
put on the Thursday podcast first.
Olivia will probably steal our show. That's how good Olivia is. So, Olivia, I want you on. So if you can make it next week, get Uncle Wayne to send you a link. Come on, man, come and join us and put the world. Tell us about the world from your perspective as a young black woman living in Birmingham. Boom.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
And I think Laverne's on next week as well, so that could be a really good show.
Did you say 22nd?
Oh, 22nd.
22nd.
Oh, 22nd. Man.
She put some topics in the group, and then for the 22nd, my buddy would have forgot. I'm gonna write them down. I'll write them down.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching this on replay, please do #replay. We are going to be awarding a special prize to one random person who does #replay. I haven't decided what the prize is yet. No, man, you'll get something nice, man. It'll either be, not a lot of you guys don't realise, but Wayne is actually a musician. He's a classical trained.
Actually, they do know they're part of my network.
not all 2,000 people know. So this guy can create music for you. He can even teach you how to really play the piano. Well, hashtag replay, and we will pick a winner. And next Tuesday we'll pick a winner, and we will have something good for you. I don't know what yet. I'm not sure, but we'll have something for you.
All right, man. Should we end with the beat? Yeah, we're ending with the beat. Thanks for being there, Nigel. We'll see you next week. Good night.